Hello, my name is Sylvia. Today we are going to be learning the basics of Photoshop. So create a new document, and to do that, you just press File, New, and I'm using width of to 10 millimeters, and let me write that down to 10 and 148 millimeters, which is the landscape of a A5 document. Yeah, normally we use pixels, but I'm used to using these dimensions for most of my work. So what you want to do is, because it's Photoshop, we normally work with images, so I'll use one of my photos and I'll look for a nice picture, something simple, not too complicated. I think this is fine. This is how I took the picture, straight from my camera, and I think it will be great to work with. So how you add in an image into a document is by File, Place, and yeah, there you have it. So the first one is the Move tool. So if you select that and move it around, that's what that does. This is basically a selection tool, and it has different shapes. If you click on that, you'll see rectangle, circle, elliptical, all those, you see the names there. But basically what that does is, if you select a section of the picture, like say so, I'm pressing Shift so that I can get what do you call it? Shift helps you keep the circle. If you don't use the Shift, it's going to be it's not going to be a shape of a circle, it's going to be spread out. Just, I hope you understand what I mean. Yeah, so select, and then inverse, that selects the outward part of the circle, which you don't need that, and then I'm clicking delete. And the reason that's not working is because of, I need to make that as I need to rasterize a layer, and what you do is click there, rasterize layer, and now you can delete. There you have it, circle. Select, deselect, basically any of these shapes here that you can use. This is the Lasso Tool, got it right this time. Yeah, the Lasso Tool. So for the Lasso Tool, what does it do? You just, it's basically selects, but we don't want that, so Control Z to undo. And another thing you want to know is this, which is the Quick Selection Tool. With the Quick Selection Tool, if you why not today? Quick Selection Tool is very easy. So what you do is come here. If you select that, it makes the selection very easy. And you can minus, say you don't want this part, you can minus by that with the minus selection. And the magic wand basically just selects, let me deselect that so that you see, basically selects, here's the magic wand, see all that, like if you want to choose, select a color, a big range of color, you can use the wand tool, magic wand, is it called magic wand tool? Yeah, that selects a big range of color that's the same. And then you have the crop tool. You can easily crop what you don't want in the image. I know there's you've heard of cropping images. That's what this does, basically crops the image. That's the crop tool. This is the same as the one I showed you in Illustrator. Basically just selects this color. You can see here the color box. When you select that, that's the color it chooses in there. Basically you're selecting that color. And then this is the healing tool. If you have a person, let's do this practically so you can see, like you've seen how they smoothen the faces. You can select this with the Alt. Using the Alt, no, that's not the Alt. Yeah, basically it just deletes the spots around. So what you're doing is getting rid of the unwanted spots in the image. That's what that does. Heals. Heal the flower. Heal it. Very simple. Healing, heal. And this does the same thing, but it does say you don't want this, but we want it. I don't want to take out that one. Let me take out this because I don't think it's gonna make a difference whether it's there or not. So for this is the clone stamp tool, and what it does is, let's make it bigger. I'm using this brush tool. Yeah, so what you do is you press Alt and click, and you see that section that you've clicked, pressed Alt and clicked, is what's going to be replicated here. So that's how we get rid of the unwanted part in the image, and voila, disappeared. That's another way to do that. And what else do you want to know? You want to know how to... These are layers. So what you want to do is duplicate that layer, and the shortcut key is Ctrl-J, or if you don't know the shortcut key, you just duplicate the layer from right-clicking. Wait, do you right-click? Yeah. Right-clicking, and where it says duplicate layer, there you have it. But I just Ctrl-J, does the same thing. So what you can do is hide this for now. And if you hide this here, that's what happens. Do you need the background? I don't think so, not for now. Yeah, so we are on the top layer. So for the top layer, using the erase button, see, that's the erase tool, but we don't want to erase that, so Ctrl-Z, which is undo. Shortcut, Ctrl-Z. Every time I say Control, it's the same as Command. And then this is basically the fill in tool, and what that does is change the color of the background. So we see this is the selection tool. Wait, what do you call it? The eyedropper. So say we select this color, and then we want to fill it on this layer in the background. We use this paint bucket tool. So drop that in there, and that's what happens. Voila, it's like magic. And yeah, so you have that. And we skipped the brush tool. The brush tool is basically, I use my digital art on Photoshop. So basically what I do is use the brushes. They are mini brushes. You can upload brushes, and this is what I use. You can decide to come here on this layer, create a new layer above it, select a different section with the eyedropper tool on the image, that color, and using the brush tool, just create different blotches. Don't know what to call them. Just using the brush tool to make the background look a bit spaced out. Yeah, so that's what that does. That's the brush tool. And you have all these other tools, but mostly I use the brush tool. And if you want to know how I create my digital art, I basically just use the brushes and I draw with them. So that's what I use most of the time with my digital art. So you just have to get comfortable with the brush tool and be able to use it. Another thing you need to know is the gradient tool. So for the gradient tool, using these two colors, if you choose a different color, let's create a new layer. By creating a new layer, you click on this tool that looks like a paper that's folded, and there. So starting from here, wait, you need to return to the gradient of these two colors, which is this, creates it automatically. And yeah, you can start from here and drag and drop. And what that does is it creates a gradient. And you can do that to the circle by clicking the second one, circle. And if I hide this layer, you'll see what that does. Basically creates it in the circle manner. This one does what it shows here, and the next one as such. gradient as a reflection tool, and this one like that. But for now I think I'm gonna go with this because this shows around the flower, so I like it. I'm just gonna put back my path tool because it's come out of place. Yeah. All right, so you need to know how to do that. This is smudge. What the smudge tool does is say new layer. So say I create a line like that. So if I use the smudge tool and I move it around that, I'm basically smudging it. No, that's what happens. So try and see how you can play around with that. It's really fun. So that just smudges it like that. Control plus to zoom in, control minus to zoom out. And that is also done here. Plus and yeah, minus. I don't know, I use control plus and minus because of I don't want to keep coming here and I don't even know how to use the control minus tool on the side. And then the pen tool is also like on Illustrator. If you've gone through my Illustrator training, and this is basically, it does the same thing. Click, release, you see. And basically what you're doing is you're selecting the section, and what you can do with that is when you click like that and you come to paths here, you make selection. Yes, and you see you've selected the area. Control Z. You can stroke the path, which is basically the brush you have. What brush do I have? You see, because if I had that, it selected it there, created a path, kind of like a stroke. Yeah, that's what that does. For the text, I'm gonna create a text. Just come here and you can actually add text from all this. Say you want to write with which color, select the color, use this, basically the eyedropper tool. Clearly you can tell it's my favorite. Happy holidays. And you can change the text to any of this that you like. I like that. Spread it. You can change the size with this. Spread that. This basically changed the leading, the canning. I don't want to do that, leave that at 0. So just if I was you, I'd just play around with this. I'll just play around with this, so then you get to see what each effect does. But for me, this is a bit big because I want it on one line, so then I'm going to use 48 points. And for the paragraph, just click on paragraph and center that. If you don't find this here, which mine is normally here, just come to view or windows and then make sure you select character. Yeah, character styles, that's the same as this. And paragraph, that's the same as this. It's just the same thing. So if you don't find it on the side of your tab, it should be there. See? Can't really see that. Let me remove the flower so you can kind of like. So let me tell you something fun about this. So maybe say you want to change the flower color. You can create a new layer and select, say, this color. And using the paintbrush, you can, color on top of that layer. And using this, instead of normal, just play around with that and see what colors you can use over that. Say you want it all green or blue, just use the difference just here, see what colors give what effects, and kinda settle on the one you think would be cool. Say that one, Happy Holidays, and that's the linear band. So where you saw that is this tool over here on the left where it says band tool. That's what that does when you paint on top of it. It's like another shortcut. But yeah, a lot of these tools just have that effect, but here you have a big variation and you can use different colors on top of that. So if you hide that, it's the old color, but if you place that on top, that's what that does. Really, really cool. And with the text tool, let's go back to the text tool. This Happy Holidays, where you selected that, you can actually right click and go to blending options and play around with this just to see the different effects that gives you. Like if you bevel that, you're giving it weight or depth, but I just want to keep it as a flat design, so I'm just gonna remove that. And add a shadow, so that's a drop shadow. You can change the distance of the shadow like that, you know. You can, I don't want it to be too far, just somewhere there. Spread, you can add the spread and you can spread it like that. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. And if you, yeah, just play around with this. This adds a glow. Like they all have different effects. This is something you can have fun with on the text. Then press OK and Happy Holidays. And what else would you want to know? Maybe we add an exclamation mark. Happy Holidays. Should I not? Yes, wishing you all a happy holiday. By the way, December is my season. I'm a Sagittarius. Shout out to Sagittarius. So what else can we put over here? Happy holidays. Maybe put it in the center because this kind of looks a bit odd. Does it? I think so. So I think design is just about trying different things. Maybe if you don't like this color, you can actually change it. Like if you're not feeling the green and you like different color, you can change the colors and just see what colors you want to settle with. So you want that or pink. What colors do you like? Comment down below and let me know what color you'd have chosen or what color you chose to go with. If you're learning along with me and you're using this, I think I'll go with, I think I liked the pink, this pink. This was kind of cute. And another thing you can do is decrease the opacity, which is basically the transparency, like that, so that it's not too loud. Oops, Control Z. If you do Control Z and it doesn't work, do Control Z and Alt, which is like undo many times. What else do you need to know? Okay, we use the text. I don't use this, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. And then this is something else that's fun to use. This is basically if you press Shift and this, you're creating circles around your display like that. Select, what am I doing? I'm clicking down on Shift and I'm using my mouse to size it up and moving around with that. So that's what that does. And the good thing is that the different shapes, so yeah, with the different shapes you can come here and then press Rasterize Layer, and that's what you get. But you can use different shapes. They have polygon, all that. And if you come to customize shape, they even have more shapes over here. So you'll be having many shapes that you can use. So play around with that and see what you create. And this is also just to move around. Say you're here. Oh, okay, zoom in and you click on that, that moves you around. It doesn't work if you're all the way out, because clearly you're seeing your whole image. Yeah, and you've done the colors. The colors are basically here, and you can play around with them. The swatches, the colors. I like using the swatches, but yeah, you have a variation of colors to choose from. I think I'm gonna use the circular tool, the ellipse, and create more of that, just to give it something different and cool. Yep, and before you know it, you have your design. So happy holidays, and hope you've learned a little something on Photoshop. Something else I would, let's rasterize that, and let's play with this brush tool. Something else I would want to teach you is, just hold on. So you can also give it a depth by clicking on this and just selecting further inside the background so that you spread that along. I'm just basically using the brush tool and this 16 points, nothing too hard to see. So voila, creating a digital card. There you have it. And that's what that does. I think it's actually really cool. Should I put it like 2 lines? Let me try that. Happy holidays. Select this and then press enter. And make it bigger, give it space. This gives it space, by the way. Just follow along to see what I'm doing, because sometimes I forget to say what I'm doing because you'd think it's like common knowledge to me. There you go, happy holidays. And just so that, maybe should I increase this so that, do you want it more red, or let me make it blue so it looks like it's snowing, right? Let's try that. Let's go for blue, or like a turquoise. Okay, that didn't do that, but what you can do is change the colors from here. See if that helps. And because of the snowy things were on the top layer, so it's not affected by the color that you've placed, maybe you can move them under like that. And now the effect you do on this is going to work on the whole thing like that. Happy holidays. See what I did there? Yeah. So what I'm doing is changing this colors so that you can see the effects. So I think I liked it at the reddish. I think I liked it here. So what I'm gonna do is move the flower and put that on top of the blue so it's not affected, and then change this. And basically that's what I do. I just play around with this and kinda settle on something I like. I don't think there's a complete formula to how your designs work and how they don't. Maybe there is, but for me, my designs are usually a lot of experimenting and checking out what I like, what works better, what I can do differently, and if I don't like it, then I just keep changing. And I feel like the more practice you do, the more you learn how to do things, and that's what I do with my designs. Just practice, test out things, see what works, see what doesn't work. I think I ruined it. I'm just gonna go with that. And what was it? Was it color band? Linear band. I was looking for like a, what do you say? I was trying to make it look like snow, but let me show you something really cool on the brushes. See these brushes? I have a snow brush. There you go. So now I can add like a little snowflakes and make that really cool. But what are we gonna do? We're gonna use white like that, right? On top of this, so then it doesn't affect it. See, use white and make that smaller. And like that, we have some snowflakes. So without knowing it, you're creating a holiday card. Holiday greetings card. Voila! You can change the size so that it's not all the same. Make that a bit bigger so you have some big flakes around. Voila. There you go. Still not sure about this color, but I don't really think I like the blue. Oh, there we go. I like that. That's kind of cute. I'm not sure if I want it all the way blue. Do I want a light blue or a dark blue? I wish I could hear you guys. Yeah, so then to add color, let me hide this text, we'll get back to it. To add color, you can play around with, you go to image and adjustments, and all this, change the color. Vibrance normally adds the color of the image like that, and saturation, but we don't want it to be too saturated. Just like that. See how that stands out. And here, vibrance, brightness, and contrast. I think we're gonna, do you want more contrast? No, we don't want more contrast. Brightness, that takes away the brightness. I don't want it to be too gone. Voila. I'm wondering if I want it under the blue. Let's see. Is it? No, that kills my vibe. Like that. Something else you can do is, you remember the selection tool that I taught you how to use? You can select the colors. Oh, is that minus? I need it to be plus. Select that, and select that. So what you are doing is selecting, okay, that's select the inverse and done that on top like that. Select it to be all blue, and then like this, some places here, change the color like that. Select, deselect. So now what happens is you've only selected that, and you can, because I wasn't too sure I liked the, I didn't want to change the whole thing. So what happens now is you're not changing the flowers, but you're changing the background, and that's how you select that separately. Independently, say you want that to be orange or yellow or red. You get that idea. And blue, back to blue. So that's how you'd change the top individually and change those colors using this. Normally I use this, the color, changing the top color, because it just has a slight effect. It doesn't change it, like it doesn't make the blue or the like too blue. I think it does an awesome job, kind of giving you what you want, but I don't like it, so I'm just gonna leave it out of that. But I want to believe that you get the freaking idea, and that's basically it. Oh yeah, we had a text, let's not forget it. There, happy holidays. Maybe you want to change the color. You can change the color up here by pressing color overlay. That's if you, let me show you. You can either change the color from here, change the color, you see, you can change the color from there, or you can change the color from right clicking, blending options, color overlay. There, you can change the colors from there. And I told you about the swatch tool, which basically selects the background. Not the swatch tool. Why do you call it swatch tool? Does it feel like a swatch? Oops, my battery is running low. Put it back on the plug. There we go. I don't want it to be too... Let's use that. Okay. I want to make the text stand out, so that's what I'm doing, in case you're wondering. Playing around with the text. These things, like I told you, you can. That's the inner shadow. Really cool. See what that does. And yeah, this is what I usually do in a day, just kind of seeing what that does. Do I want it black? You see, now if you go back and you change the color from here, it won't work because this overpowers the other one. You can take it out from there by clicking this, hiding, and bring it back. Hiding and bring it back. Do you think black works? I wish I could hear you guys. Yeah, and you can actually change the text to something else that you like just by here. I have many fonts because I'm always downloading fonts. Some of them don't have all the words, but you get what I'm saying. I think I like this. Change the spacing. I know it's boring. This one is a more, what do you call it? A more sans serif. But I like that it stands out better, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not struggling to read the word happy holidays like that. Change the color. What color is holidayish would you suggest? Am I clashing too much? Am I not clashing enough? I usually like the yellows, the oranges. Let me try that. They never fail me. Today it's failing me. Let me try like the green. Or maybe sometimes you just need to use the color tones of the images so that it works better. Do you see that? Yes, you do. All right, happy holidays. And if you don't want this to be too in your way like that, maybe this needs to go under. What do you think? I'm really wondering if I should put it under or on top. maybe I should color this as well. No, it doesn't work. Let's leave that as normal. Let's put it under. And then let's make this white. I think I like that. Oh, I didn't select on the text. Make the text white. Yeah, so at this point we've already learned the basics of Photoshop, and what I'm doing is just creating the card to look like something I enjoy. And for this, you can actually blur it by going to filter, select, okay, it's normally filter, yeah, blur, Gaussian blur, and that basically blurs it. You don't want to blur it too much, like that. That's if you don't want it to show too much. If you want it to be visible, see, you can actually blur it all the way, but you can leave it there. I'm not gonna use that, I'm just gonna leave it. And you can also do the same thing for the text on the image by, say, creating, now we can show you the bevel tool. You see, that just gives it a depth like that. Size, you can play around with the size, you can soften it, and you can use inner shadows. I think that's too big. Yeah, like that. You can contour. What I'd say is just use this a lot and see what that does. That's color overlay, that's why it colored the whole thing. So do you want it to be like floating like that? It's actually cool. And then you move it a bit higher. Happy holidays. Happy birthday to you. Happy. Okay. Whose birthday is it? Happy birthday if it's your birthday today. And voila. There you have it. Happy holidays. May you enjoy this season, and see you in the next video. Hope you've learned a little something in this, a little some on this Photoshop tutorial, and see you in the next video. Continue playing around with these things, and if you actually get to follow along as you showed me, and you created a dope holiday card, please tag me on Spinkly Creations and I will share it on my story. So see you in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe and turn on the notifications. Bye.